Sportsnet presents White Sox Baseball. It's Todd Frazier, Jose Abreu, Brett Laurie in our Sox as they get set to butt heads with the very young, the very talented Houston Astros. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. They took the opener by a score of 5-0. Then yesterday, Chris Sale picked up his 14th victory of the season against 2 losses. We won that ball game 7-6. So the Sox now have a chance to win this rubber match today, this series. That would be their 4th in a row, but we're not gaining any ground.
Well, unfortunately, Cleveland decided to win 14 in a row, finally interrupted yesterday. But when you see what the Sox have done, and the object is to win series, they've lost 3 games in the standings. The Indians, since June 20th, have gone 11-1. The Sox, 8-4. That's good, but the -3. On the other side of the equation, the Texas Rangers have been playing well. Houston went 13-3, only gained 1 game, although they gained 2 in the loss column. So sometimes you have to get your winning streak coinciding with a losing streak on the teams you're chasing. In this case, the Sox chasing 3 teams above them, but playing much better baseball.
Well, we had our number 1 out there yesterday picking up the victory. We got our number 2 out there trying to get his today.
It's been a long drought for Jose Quintana. The last time he won was back on May 8th, and so hopefully a little better luck today. There's a look at May 8th when all things were beautiful. At that point, he was in the process of going 5-1. In 9 starts since, it's been troubling for him. However, he's been averaging 1.37 runs per start in support. So you see 0-7, 4.58 ERA. That encompasses 9 starts with 7 home runs. Strikeout to walk ratio good. 5 quality starts good. He can't get any runs. That's not good. And hopefully today he'll be able to do it. On the other side of the page, you got Colin McHugh. Last year he was 19-7. This year he's at 500. Last year the ERA was excellent, 3.89. This year, not so good. Home runs way up this year. Batting average against way up this year. This is a guy that throws a cutter. He throws a curveball. He throws a changeup. And this year he's struggling. So they've got to have him come about. We've got to have Jose Quintana win a big ball game.
Well, it's the finale of this 3-game set and the finale of this brief 3-game road trip. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. It's hot and steamy in Houston, but of course, the roof is closed. And the Astros, who are trying mightily to catch the Texas Rangers, ready for the third final and rubber game of the series. Let's take a look at how Robin's going to line them up against Colin McHugh. Tim Anderson leading it off. Adam Eaton in the 2 spot. Then it's Jose Abreu, Todd Frazier. Alex Avila, the DH, is once again the 2-catcher offense. Brett Lawrie at second. Deiner Navarro, who had a wonderful game yesterday, with Avi Garcia and J.B. Shuck rounding it out. The Cricket Wireless defensive alignment for the Houston Astros. Jake Marisnick, the speedster, in left, and it's Carlos Gomez, George Springer. Marwin Gonzalez, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, and the rookie A.J. Reed at first. Jason Castro behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Colin McHugh. Last year 19-7, this year an even 500 at 5-5, ERA over 4.5, and 106 hits and 90 and a third. That's not particularly good. The umpires for the game this afternoon: Ryan Blakeney behind the plate, the crew chief Mike Everett at first, Jordan Baker at second, and Tim Timmons at third. In the first inning, Colin McHugh has really had problems, not only throughout his career, but certainly this year. His career as a starter, 6.20 ERA the first inning, 3.61 after that. Opponent's batting average up over 300, and this season an 8.22 ERA in the first inning. Things bode well as the Sox look to kick it off, and scoring early against a young, speedy, and talented ball club is always advantageous. So we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good afternoon and welcome to White Sox baseball as the first pitch of the ball game taken off the plate. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. .72 degrees inside the park, 95 degrees outside the park. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, in this booth, it was freezing.
But it made up for the outside with the high humidity. So it's 95 doesn't feel like 140.
Well,
close to it though.
Timmy can't get it. He comes in at 295, 3 homers, 6 knocked in. He is 1 for 9 with an RBI in this series. Fouls that away. Well, I'll tell you what, I have been. How far is it from the front door of the hotel to the front door of the bus? 30 yards?
Maybe a little less.
That's how much time I spent outside.
That's been it, huh?
Yeah, Melissa, our stage manager, was talking to me about a couple of terrific restaurants here, and I was going to go last night, and I went home and just room service, please. One out.
McHugh has fallen in love with his cutter, and he views that as the reason why things haven't worked out as well this year. Now, he threw a fastball right by Anderson, and that's what he's been trying to work on. The 4-seam fastball has eluded him. He said even last year when he was going 19-7, he felt he threw better the year before. So he's trying to regain what he had in 2014 with that 4-seam fastball.
So here's Adam Eaton. He's out of Naperville. He was born in Naperville. Well, you don't win 19 games with a 3.89 ERA in the American League unless you're doing something right.
He was doing a lot of things right. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and starting right would be probably throwing first pitch strike and locating that fastball.
Well, you get a 19-game winner who was a waiver claim from the Colorado Rockies. That was back on December 16th of 2003. So the Rockies gave one away, and McHugh has been a very good pitcher with Houston.
He didn't like the call, but it was very, very close. And
he tried what appeared to be a backdoor cutter. And a nice job of framing it by Jason Castro. And yeah.
Well, he thought it was outside.
It probably was a touch outside.
Well, we've had the first two games here have been excellent. Two of the best umpired games. Jordan Baker in that opener didn't miss a pitch the whole game. As Abreu fouls that one into the seats. And then Tim Timmons had a terrific game yesterday.
I think all these guys have also been very good on the bases, as we've seen. The calls have been upheld.
Well, they haven't missed a call.
No, I mean it's just been, yeah, it's been an excellent series.
Outfield straight up. And that's a base hit. So you can cancel the post game show. And the ball is dropped out there, so he will go into second with a double. That's his 19th two-bagger.
McHugh was bucking the trend of his first inning woes, was striking out the first two guys, and then Jose came up, brought his hands in, got an inside fastball, drove it into left field.
Well, when he's hitting with short arms, he is the Abreu that we saw for 2 years.
You'd have to believe this starting the actual second half. It's the 82nd game. You'd have to believe that guy's going to appear here in the not too distant future.
When he takes that pitch middle of the plate in and hits it with short arms, he is devastating. When he tries to extend on it, he is devastated.
Cutter on the first pitch, and he kept it away from Todd Frazier, and Todd really been expanding his zone outside especially.
We've probably seen Jose Abreu get jammed more in the first half of the season we did his first 2 years. Todd 2 for 8 in the series, hitting at .204, but he does have 23 homers and 51 knocked in, so that's a very productive batting average for being that low. Robin doesn't care what he hits as long as he knocks in runs and hits home runs. Batting average is probably one of the most overrated things in the game of baseball.
And for a run producer, your job is to knock in runs every chance you get, and if you're going to drive in 100 and you're going to hit 30+ home runs, that batting average almost becomes irrelevant.
Sure it does.
Yeah. Outfield straightaway. Marisnick well off the line and left. And Robin would love to see his ball club win 4 straight series, something they haven't done in a while.
And forget about that 14-game winning streak of Cleveland that they had. You can't control what they do, so just go out and try to win series. That's what he's been trying to do. Watch out.
Well, after interrupting the 14-game streak yesterday, Toronto off to an early lead. Top of the 4th inning, Toronto leads 3-0 north of the border, and not able to stay alive on this cutter, but the bat goes flying.
Did you ever do that in your career? When a guy let the bat go a little bit, came out towards the mound, did you ever go and pick it up and hand it to him?
No, I let him come out and get it.
Exactly
In
right.
fact, I was tempted to throw it towards second base and let him go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Maybe he would wear himself out.
You very seldom ever see that. Popped up. Could be trouble. No. Correa, he's good. Meanwhile, after happening to players, our guys nothing and their guys coming to bat.
going to line up his Astros for the game this afternoon. Springer, Gonzalez, and Altuve at the top with Correa, Gomez, and Reed in the middle. Evan Gattis, who's been heating it up lately, along with Marisnik and Castro, rounded out. A Cricket wireless defensive setup, and how Robin is going to put him out in the field behind Jose Quintana is Garcia, Shuck, and Eaton. In the infield, Fraser, Anderson, Laurie, and Abreu. Yonder Navarro gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana, looking for his 6th win. Last time he won, May 8th. He's been throwing it well enough, but not getting a whole lot of support. There you look at the numbers.
So here's Springer. They have some terrific young talent on this ball club.
They're really high on that guy they're playing at first base today.
Did you see that piece in the paper this morning? That story on him?
Yep.
Aaron Rice. Yeah, that ball is out of here. That's his 18th home run. He's very, very strong, obviously, as you just saw that line drive over that deep right center field wall.
'18 and 49 on the power numbers. A forward home run replay. He takes this ball the opposite way. Not your prototypical leadoff hitter. More in the mode of Ian Kinsler. He's a slugger who happens to be hitting 1. And he showed you just how strong he is.
Well, when you've got some other hitters like they do in this lineup here, that is, in my opinion, a very, very good place to hit for a youngster. If, in fact, his mindset can handle it.
Well, another factor, too, he's got speed, although he's not a refined base stealer just yet. But he's got speed, so you don't want to walk him. You'll see more fastballs as a leadoff hitter behind some thumpers.
You
also
have to acknowledge the fact that he doesn't have but 11 doubles, but he does have 18 home runs. And all of a sudden now that gives you some quick strike offense right there.
Yeah.
Usually, as a rule, Dave Ross will, associate producer, will tell us what the percentage is, but the team that scores first usually wins. Especially at home. Gonzalez, 1 for 6 in the series, hitting at .253. He's the only switch hitter they have in this lineup.
Springer originally drafted in the first round, the 11th pick overall in 2011. They got themselves a good one. He's big, he's strong, and he's fast, and has a cannon for an arm. Can't ask for too much more than that. We would be remiss if we didn't mention the game that when we played at Fort Bragg between the Marlins and the Braves, honoring our servicemen on the July 4th weekend. And I would think that's an honor for those guys. They're going to be playing in front of 12,500 people who are assigned to Fort Bragg.
Well, it's nice to see that we are honoring our servicemen and women around the world with something.
It is that.
They've been obviously neglected too much. Here's Altuve. American League Player of the Month for June.
All he did was hit .420.
Takes first pitch strike. He's hitting .355. 14 homers, 49 knocked in. Hit a home run yesterday off Chris Sale, long one. And that's out number 2.
White Sox announced that they signed 9 international free agents. and one was the nephew of Vladimir Guerrero. He's a 16-year-old out of the Dominican Republic, out of Bani. 6'2", 190. For a 16-year-old at 6'2", 190, you'd have to think he's going to get a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and if he has near the talent of his very famous uncle.
And a very big uncle. Vladimir Guerrero was a big man. He has some unbelievable shoulders on him. They had Vlad listed as 6'4", but you stood beside him. He looked a lot bigger than that.
Well, he was a wider 6'4" and could hit it a long way. And at 16 years old, 6'2", 190, you'd have to figure he's going to fill out a touch.
Vladimir Guerrero was the greatest first ball fastball hitter I've ever seen in my career. Never forget the game at our place. Keith Foulke was pitching. We're sitting there, DJ and myself, saying, please don't throw him first ball fastball. Well, you know what happened. That's a good pitch he didn't get. So he had him struck out.
That's a whole zone, and that one should have gone the other way, but didn't. Correa, another first-round pick, only he was the first player chosen overall, June of 2012. This is going to be just his first full season in the major leagues. Had a great year last year, but played just 99 games.
Watch out.
Got to figure playing 99 games when you hit 22 home runs and drive in 68, the sky is the limit, and they believe that for Carlos Correa. Multi-talented young player who last year swiped 14 bases, caught only 4 times.
It's unbelievable the luck that we've had, especially Quintana. When he has had somebody struck out, they miss the call and the guy reaches base. In that Cleveland series, he did it twice. And both those guys scored, and we got beat 3-2.
It's really tough enough to get out Correa anytime, but they don't have to throw him too many pitches. As this guy hasn't seen the ceiling or even close to it yet, he's going to be one of the best in baseball. He's up there right now.
Attaboy, Jose. Good recovery right there as he broke to his right a couple steps and stopped, went back. Meanwhile, the home run by Springer is 1-0 Astros. Another great episode of Beer Money airing tonight on CSN. Watch contestants test their sports trivia knowledge for the chance to win cash. Beer Money presented by Coors Light tonight at 7 on CSN Chicago.
Been more than a few Sox fans who have made the trip down here. We've seen the stands full of them. Certainly a lot of folks at the hotel came down to see this series. It's a very comfortable place to watch a game in a city that's not too comfortable this time of year.
Alex Avila, Brett Laurie, and Deanna Navarro. Two balls and a strike.
It's easy to see why McHugh thought that he threw the ball actually better in 14 than 15. His ERA .273 in 25 starts, 11-9 in 2014. Houston was much better last year. He had a much better record, but he got much more run support, and he feels that the cutter took down the velocity.
Full count. And the payoff. Attaboy. And ready to lead off walk. That's the 5th walk he has drawn in this series. So with 1 on, nobody out, let's check out our picks to click. John Walton, Skip Ellison, Dave Ross. They went with Adam Eaton. Steve's going with Todd Frazier, and J.J. Shearer got us a win yesterday, so we're going to stay with J.J. Shearer and all the great folks at Ditka's. We're going to go with Deanna Navarro. That's popped up and back over into the seats.
Been a while since I've seen this, but Alex Avila has had an entire series of no contact. Fouled the ball off a few times, but pretty remarkable series so far. Strikeouts and walks, end of story.
Brett Laurie, on the other hand, is 4 for 9 in this series. There, he just flips that one up there, grabs the strike, and the count 0-2. Another one.
Slow hook, same velocity, 74 miles an hour. This one that was able to fall off. Last 9 games, hitting a robust .459. Extra base hits aplenty. Multi-hit games, 7 in the last 9.
Up on top of the zone for out number 1.
A White Sox group outing is a perfect way to entertain clients, promote teamwork, and boost morale. Companies, schools, churches, and sports teams can all enjoy the special group benefits when they reserve 20 or more seats. The larger your group, the bigger your discount. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/group. Last pitch was how McHugh could make an 89-mile-an-hour fastball look like it was 95, throwing it up out of the strike zone when you're ahead of the hitter.
So here's Navarro. 4 big RBIs yesterday. Takes that one off the plate.
He's catching in today's game, but he talked about the difference between when you catch and when you DH. He said, quite obviously, you have to worry about everything when you're catching. You have to talk to umpires and do a whole lot of things you don't do when you're a DH. Last year, 32 times he was a designated hitter. And he said, you know, you prepare differently. Catching is really tough. It's played by very strong men who take a beating, and they go out there every day knowing they're going to take a beating. I think the boys probably should be swinging today because it looks like Ryan Blakeney is calling the edges, maybe just off the edge.
One out, one on, 2-2 the count. 1-0 Astros if you're just tuning in. Leadoff home run by George Springer last inning over the line drive over the right center field fence. Another full count. Bottom of the fourth up in Canada. Toronto shutting out Cleveland 4-0. Ball hit hard. Right size, wrong shape. Starter for the Indians there, Corey Kluber went 3 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks. Four strikeouts now.
He's got confidence in that curveball. And he uses it, drops it over at 3-2. And Navarro down on strikes. 1 called, 3 swinging. Those 4 strikeouts. Tried to check it up, but couldn't. McHugh's getting a lot of mileage out of that high fastball, so he has tried to rediscover the 4-seam fastball that he throws up. Wants a high fastball again. Bobby just able to stay alive.
Well, some of our guys right now hitting with huge strike zones.
Hard to defend in, out, up, and down.
Can't do it. You cannot do it. It's a lot easier to cover in and out than it is up and down.
You think the day and age of the guess hitter has gone, or do you still think a number of guys do guess? Or if they guess, do they guess just zones and not pitch?
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, the best hitter we've seen in this league, and probably in both leagues, looks for a pitch almost every time, and that's Miguel Cabrera. If you can't take a lead from him, shame on you. You go up to the plate against major league pitching and you're just looking for the ball, you're not going to do very well. You cannot react quick enough. You better have an idea. Five strikeouts now through 2 innings, and he leads it 1-0.
To you by Miller Lite.
Carlos Gomez will lead it off for the Astros here in their half of the second inning. 1-0 Houston. Getting back to looking, guessing. There's a big difference in looking for a pitch and guessing. Most of the great hitters that I've talked to over the years, and this includes most of them, they're all the guys who are in Cooperstown. They primarily hit off the fastball, but there was a little formula that most of them used. They're going to hit off the fastball, but they're going to hit the slider. They're going to hit off the fastball, but they're going to hit the curve. So what that's doing is giving them an approach to whereas mechanics don't even come into play. Don't even come into play when you're thinking in those terms. Now, there are certain times that you can guess against certain pitchers, certain situations. And not that you're going to be right all the time, but what you're going to do, again, is be dangerous because you've got an approach. Rather than going up there, worried about where your hands are, where your feet are, or just looking for the ball. You can't hit major league pitching just looking for the ball.
Did you ever cut off half the plate and said, okay, I'm going to give you the inside, but if you throw it outside, that's the pitch I'm looking for?
That's the guess. Now, when you guess, 90% of the time when you guess, you're guessing not pitch, but location. We got a break there. Now looking for a pitch. If I'm hitting against Steve Stone, again, according to the situation, I'm going to try this high pop up. And you know, we didn't have all the video to study on the pitchers and everything, which a lot of guys didn't want anyway because they knew what you had. But if I'm hitting you according to the situation, if I have got nobody on and 2 out, I'm going to stand right on top of that plate. I mean, to the extent that the umpire's going to have to say, Hawk, you got to back off. I'm going to make sure that you cannot freewheel that curveball on me. I'm going to try to dictate my own strike zone. Now, if we get in a situation where there's men on first and third, 1 out, if that's into left field, Bobby. So Reed, A.J. Reed, is a very powerful young man, 2 down. But man on first and third, and I know one thing. There's no way in the world you're going to let me hit a fastball in that situation.
Let's try that too.
Well, unless it's out of the zone. Unless I get myself out. Where you're going to go with a fastball, it's going to be up. It's according to the count.
Like what McHugh is doing today.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Now I'm just looking up there with you in that situation. I'm backed off the plate a little bit, and I'm looking for that curveball, and I'm looking for it down, because chances are you're not going to hang it.
If I do, you're going to hit that one anyway.
Exactly.
Because you got plenty of time to adjust and a hanging curve.
Jimmy Jones and Sammy Smith can hit a hanger.
Yeah.
Every at bat, you know, is yourself. Every hitter you face is different. Every pitcher and every at bat that I face is different. It's all situational at bats. You got to treat each and every at bat as a situational at bat, where the bases are loaded. You might have to choke up a little bit, and you got a superior stuff out there. Let's say you got Chris Sale out there. Okay.
Yes.
I know one thing. I try to cover the plate with the bases loaded off Chris Sale, and he's going to make me grab some bench. He's going to stick that bat right where it shouldn't be stuck.
Chris has done that to a few of them this year. At 14-2, I particularly like the ones that he hits in the leg on strike 3.
But you know, the pitch that sets everything up for me off him is the change.
Yeah.
That sets everything up. If he were just fastball slider, he would be much more vulnerable, as there's Evan Gattis with the base on balls. But all of a sudden you throw that changeup into the equation. Ergo 14-2.
And that's what really took him from a talented young hard-throwing pitcher to a starter was that changeup.
Plus his aptitude.
Well, he's got a way to adjust. I mean, look at the ball game yesterday. They got to him early. They scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning. They got 3 hits and a walk. And then after that, they did nothing. 1 hit into the 8th inning. I mean, that's an amazing adjustment from a guy that knew early didn't have his really good stuff. Now, he wasn't his overpowering self, but he managed to strike out 9 and walked 1 with much less than his best. Remarkable performance when you look at it, how it started out and how it ended up.
Against a dangerous offensive team. Well, when you combine stuff, which is talent, you combine stuff, you combine aptitude, knowing how to pitch, and you combine stones. When you put those 3 together, you got a star, and that's what he's got.
I was going to say, then you have Chris Sale.
You've seen a lot of guys, I have too, that had the stuff, and they had some aptitude. They didn't have the stones.
But you said something yesterday. I mean, we're talking between innings. You said something yesterday about how when Chris gets mad, he gets better.
Oh, there's no question about it. I love him when he's got an edge. That's into right field. Adam is there, and that'll retire the side. It's still 1-0 Houston.
Sale's done this year, then look at the last 5 starts. The ERA isn't quite as good. Batting average against is up. So he's won 5 straight starts with less than his best stuff, which is how you determine the guys that will excel at this game and the other guys. And there's a lot of other guys. There are very few guys that can match Chris Sale and what he's done with less than his best.
There's very few guys got stones he's got.
Yep.
He is a competitive son of a gun, I'll tell you that right now. He's got just about as much of that as you take guys like him, like Jack McDowell. If you're going to have, you know yourself, you want to Cy Young one year. If you're going to have your good stuff and your good control to win a major league game, you're not going to win a whole bunch.
No, because that great stuff, even the greatest pitchers will tell you they've got it about 25% of the time. And then every other start, you're going to have to win with less than your best. And what separates the men from the boys are the guys that consistently win with less than their best. And there's a few, and they stand out, and they do it year after year. And Chris is one of those guys.
Now you transpose that as ball 2 to Shuck into hitting. If you got to be seeing the ball well and swinging well and everything else to drive in runs and be productive, you're not going to be that productive. You've got to figure out on how to do it, and that's what good hitters do. Their funks are more short-lived than guys like me. My funks are longer than those great hitters.
Well, there's got to be some days when you get a couple of hits and you don't hit the ball hard, but you find a way to bloop one in here, and maybe a ground ball sneaks its way through the infield. But the great hitters are able to do that, to do it consistently. At first you say to yourself, well, I mean, if you're on the mound, well, they're very lucky. They're very lucky. Well, I used to see the great hitters get lucky a whole lot. They always found a spot that nobody was standing.
Well, as here's Timmy, struck out his first trip. The greatest compliment you can be paid is when somebody keeps telling you, you lucky son of a gun.
Oh, yeah.
You lucky son of a gun.
And George Brett in 1980 was very lucky.
That's right. That ball to deep into right field. Stretch! Stretch! He cannot make the play and hits that wall very hard. So that's going to be a double for Tim, and hopefully he's okay. What an effort by Springer.
Well, he knocked the breath out of him, and he went back. He's going to be fine, but that's an abrupt collision. He had so much concentration. We've said all along that Tim Anderson is a very lively bat. He hits this ball off the extreme end of the bat and takes it all the way to the wall opposite field. So Springer concentrating and can't make the play.
Fortunately, he hit it flush rather than at an angle.
Yep.
So now ducks on the pond, nobody out. But that's the reason I said yesterday, Tim Anderson, I was talking with one of the writers, and they said he's not a home run hitter. I said he's going to hit a lot more home runs than he thinks he can. That ball just flies off his bat.
Well, we talk about today, and the statement comes in exit velocity. And one of the things we noticed when Tim came up was he'll hit a ground ball in the infield, and it will sneak through. Whereas another guy at the same angle to the infielder will hit a ground ball. The infielder will get to it. That's exit velocity. That allows you to have the ball carry, allows you to get many hits that other people just won't get.
Guns it over, and they just do get him, but the run scores, and this game is tied at 1.
With his first White Sox run, eClick Lending will donate $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families. And that's RBI number 27 for Adam Eaton. Took a great play to get him at first base and just got him by an eyelash.
It's still just a beautiful thing to see the great young talent we have in the American League. It's just awesome.
And the shortstop position has become the showplace.
Yeah, it is. That's the poster child for it. Okay, that's going to get the job done as it'll fall in for the base hit. So Timmy will score, and it's a 2-1 Sox lead. That was a great at bat right there for me because he didn't try to do too much. He just wanted to put the ball back through the middle, served it out there, and it falls in for the hit.
Well, he also knew with the speed of Anderson, all you had to do was hit a fly ball. So he goes down, he gets it. He was looking for his 7th sacrifice fly. Instead, turns into a 2nd hit of the game and his 49th driven in.
And it all started with the dreaded leadoff walk to the 9th place hitter.
Yep. That usually will get you in big trouble.
First time I've seen Todd do that in a long time. Take a pitch low and away and look at it all the way back.
Going right off Castro's mask. Jason Castro, former #1 draft pick out of Stanford.
And one of the leaders on this ball club, if not the leader in that clubhouse.
That's ideal if your catcher can be one of the leaders.
Yes, it is. That's the perfect world.
Yeah. Get that guy in Kansas City, Salvador Perez, that's been a leader since he came up through their minor leagues, and he's led at every level since then, including the one he currently plays in.
And Hosmer and Gordon and all those guys will tell you he is the leader of
Yeah.
that ball club. All right, 2 down. 6 strikeouts now.
Sox fans, join us as the White Sox take on the Atlanta Braves on Saturday, July 9th at 1:10. The first 20,000 fans will receive a White Sox cap presented by the Private Bank. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
There's Alex. He walked. First to bat, as I mentioned, that's the 5th walk of the series for him. And as Steve also mentioned,
No contact.
no contact.
A no contact series.
Yeah. He's been on base 5 times and no contact.
And when he does put one in play, they'll give him the game ball, no doubt.
Two, 3-0 for us. 1-1-0 for them. If you're just tuning in. And a very happy Independence Day weekend. Happy 4th of July. Make it a safe, a loving one and of remembrance.
Altuve way out on the grass, short right field. In the major shift they employ against Alex Avila.
You know, it goes as far as like looking for pitches and everything else. Goes back to that old saying, which is so true. That's the reason it's time tested. A bad idea is better than no idea at all. Because you can improve on a bad idea. If you got no idea at all, you got nowhere to go. Reyes got him. But the leadoff walk gets McHugh in trouble. We score a pair. We lead it 2-1. White Sox insider Dan Hayes all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape. Well, we talked earlier, just tuning in, about the leadoff hitter, which is not your prototypical, as compared to tradition hitters, in George Springer, who led off the ball game for Houston, bottom of the first, with his 18th homer. Dave Ross did some checking, and there's some managers in the past who wanted to front load their lineup. Billy Martin, unless he had a real good leadoff man, he wanted to front load his lineup. Alvin Dark wanted to front load his. Gene Mauch wanted to front load his. Because the teams who score first this year in the major leagues, that's slicing and foul. The teams that score first this year in the major leagues win 65% of the games.
Pretty impressive.
The teams that score first at home win 69% of the games. So why wouldn't you front load your lineup? First of all, if you're facing major league pitching, you're not going to have, unless you got a $300 million payroll, you're not going to have a stud lineup all the way up and down.
No, and the day and age of the leadoff hitter at 380 to 410 on base percentage, that's gone. Now those guys are the sluggers, not the leadoff hitters.
That's right.
So, I'll take 18 and 49 out of the leadoff man at halfway through the season. Those are pretty impressive numbers.
It just boggles my mind why, you want to get on the board as fast as you can.
Those numbers certainly illustrate that.
And another thing, what's the biggest killer performance in baseball? Pressure.
Pressure.
Right. Well, how do you put pressure on the other team? Is by getting ahead of them. That's the biggest pressure you can put on them, by having the lead. That's trouble. He got a cookie and didn't miss it. So a leadoff double by Castro. That's his 10th two-base hit.
Two left-handers in the starting lineup, Reed and Castro, and now they're 1 for 2 as this one came up there spinning and Castro took it down the line.
Yeah, for guys who think they're going to have I think the most acknowledged way that most managers will like to have a lineup is staggered. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. That's what most of them want to do.
Make it a little more difficult for the bullpen late in the ball game when you come in, because you're going to have to use more pitchers than if you had 5 right-handers in a row.
And it's not a bad philosophy, except for one thing. Give me the front-loaded lineup. Give me the up front. I've seen Willie Mays lead off ball games. I've seen other guys, good hitters, lead off ball games. They want to get on the board as quick as they can. And if you got all Mike Trouts and Bryce Harpers and guys like that,
that's pretty good.
Or Big Poppies and Miguel Cabreras, go ahead. You can do whatever you want to do then.
That one just missed low and in.
Dave Ross said that Willie Mays started 66 games in that leadoff spot. Plus, you're going to get him more at bats. You're going to get that guy in a lot of games, one more at bat than most of your guys in your lineup. More opportunities.
He got away with one right down the middle, and Springer aired it out, fouled it back. We did that the first time.
You mentioned Ian Kinsler, who you know I love.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of. He reminds me a lot of just a bigger, stronger Ian Kinsler. And there's the walk. So first 2 men aboard. Now, he's not as good a hitter as Kinsler, but he's bigger and stronger, and he's younger.
Not yet, but he's just 26 years
That's
old.
exactly right.
Kinsler is a finished product and a terrific hitter. I mean, that was a great trade for Detroit because they opened first base for Cabrera. They got rid of a big contract for Fielder, and they got Kinsler back, who's not only a good hitter, but he's a pretty good second baseman.
Well, he's one of those guys that gives you everything he's got each and every day. So here is Gonzalez. Fakes the bunt, takes a strike. Now Todd talking to Anderson, telling him, watch me a little bit. If I go in and you come over. Of course, they can take care of all that with just putting on the wheel play.
Yeah, he goes through his set of signs and then will verbally tell the pitcher. So everybody sees signs as given to him by the dugout. He flashes them to the infield and then verbally tells Quintana.
And that's foul for an 0-2 count.
Gonzalez has 3 sacrifices, but that technique wasn't too good. As they did the right thing in a bunt situation with the hitter squaring around twice. He threw him a higher fastball on the second one.
Outfield, around to the right. Ivy has been way off that line in left field.
Trying to take away the alleys. That's the way they play a lot in Coors Field. That's in Denver with the spacious dimensions.
He gone. Second strikeout for Gonzalez. Second strikeout for Quintana.
Well, he fails to get the bunt down and then swings at the pitch way out of the zone. So not a productive at bat as the runners stay where they are.
Well, talking about this field, 315 down the left field line, 362 in left center, 436 dead away center, 373 in right center, and 326, but with a 7-foot wall out there in right, which is a absolute hitter's blue plate special. Altuve grounded out to Frazier.
As they threw a first pitch changeup, and Altuve expanded his zone. Little guy with 39 walks and only 33 strikeouts.
That ball hit well in the center, but we got a man there. 2 down.
Unfortunately, the inability to bunt, at least for the moment, turns that one into a fly ball instead of a sacrifice fly.
So here's Correa. Grounded out to Brett Laurie. 21 years old.
Last 11 been awfully good. 4 home runs, 6 doubles, 18 driven in.
Well, he and Altuve kicked it in June.
Seemingly the best thing happened to both the Astros and to Correa was when he turned his ankle. He was out for 3 games, nothing serious, but when he came back, A.J. Hinch put him in the 4th spot and said, I want you to drive in 100. That's why you're there. Here's a look at A.J. Hinch. Done a very good job with this ball club. Getting an opportunity he wasn't sure he would get again. Even though he's a talented young manager, smart manager. Got his first shot with the Diamondbacks. Admittedly, he said I was overmatched. 34 years old, no experience whatsoever. And really didn't understand how to handle players at that point.
That's into center field. That's a can of corn. So he pitches over the leadoff double, then the walk, and he leads it 2-1. Miss Sportsnet Central on CSN and Chicago's premier nightly sports wrap-up show. Featuring the latest stories, game recaps, highlights, interviews, and more. Watch Sportsnet Central tonight at 6:30 on CSN Chicago.
Only been 2 runs scored in this game as far as the Sox are concerned. That, however, is a good sign for Jose Quintana, because over the last 9 starts, Sox have averaged 1.37 runs per start. So a better start in this one, and Jose did a great job of getting out of what looked like
trouble.
A very difficult inning, especially with the heart of the order coming up. First and second, nobody out.
First ball hunting, pops it up, Correa.
First 20,000 fans at each Sox game receive a Merck's cheese spread game card, good for savings on delicious Merck's cheese in the deli or dairy case at their local grocer. Watch the White Sox and save on Merck's cheese. Purchase your tickets today at whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME.
So here is Navarro, struck out. Swinging on a 3-2 curveball. There's a hook. And we'll send out a big White Sox hello to Napoleon Montgomery Sr., 97 years young, watching him back in Chicago. That's with a lot of love from his son James.
Today, most of the McHugh slow curveballs have been thrown in the strike zone.
2 down. 7 strikeouts now for McHugh.
3 curveballs in a row, the third of which was a little harder, a little quicker, and out of the zone once he got ahead.
Ivy struck out on a 3-2 fastball. And that curveball into right field. Springer. Easy inning for McHugh. So we'll go to the bottom of the 4th with a 2-1 lead.
Baseball, and we'll take you to a team that's been down. That's the Angels, but C.J. Cron 6 for 6 with a couple of home runs, a double, 5 runs batted in, and 5 runs scored. The 5th player in Major League history with all of the aforementioned stats. Bases average 19 points. Not a bad day, and today they're playing a scoreless affair after putting 20 on the board yesterday. 0-0, bottom of the 5th in Boston.
Here's Carlos Gomez. Popped up right side, his first trip, takes ball 1.
Love the at bat yesterday against Chris Sale when he twisted himself up and fell in the batter's box on strike 3.
Two and 0 the count.
Looks like Toronto intent on making it 2 in a row against the Indians. They're leading 8-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning in Toronto.
That evens it at 2. That's leading the Cubs 11-1. At Citi Field.
It's in the process of sweeping a 4-game series. Jumped on John Lester early in that one. Gomez swings off his feet with every swing.
He got a lot of Beltre in him.
Take a look at this one. 2 strikes and he's just airing it out. Hits himself in the back and falls down. This one no contact and then twists himself up. Almost sprains an ankle.
Another pop up to Abreu. So here's big, strong A.J. Reed.
The Astros believe that Reed is an everyday player. They don't think he's a platoon player. That's one of the reasons why he's playing against Jose Quintana. Had the day off yesterday because not many left-handers, especially real young ones, want to face Chris Sale. Hit the ball well the first time, skying a fly ball to the left.
And for those of you who missed the first 2 games last year, he hit in 135 games. He hit 34 home runs and drove in 127. 2-time Southeastern Conference Player of the Year. And was a mama's boy and still is and will be to the day he dies. And like me, I was a mama's boy, still am, and will always be.
Not a bad thing, especially when you can hit.
Here you go.
That was a pretty good pitch, and he stood there. I would like to think he was just outguessed, but that ball had the whole plate. Perfect pitch, freezes him, and Blakeney with the call.
One of the biggest things that a big strong guy like A.J. Reed or any big strong kid coming out of the minor leagues who just wore it out down there. As that's popped up, Yonner says he'll take it. He does. And that's the quick 1-2-3 inning. We're into the 5th, leading 2-1.
Schedule is brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. So it's the Yankees starting tomorrow back at U.S. Cellular Field. CC Sabathia, James Shields in the opener. Then the Braves come in over the weekend, and it's the All-Star break.
Here's J.B. Shuck. He started off that 2-run third with a leadoff walk. So Sox trying to win their series here in Houston. And he has been very, very key and instrumental in those past 4 series wins.
White Sox fans, join us as the Sox take on the Tigers on Thursday, July 21st at 7:10. The first 10,000 fans will receive a free Chris Sale t-shirt presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Purchase your tickets today at whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME.
Curveball high. Tim Anderson, who is 1 for 2, and it was a big one. And there's a base hit, so another multi-hit game for Tim.
Really amazing how many times when he gets one, he gets a second and occasionally a third. This pitch is up and out over the plate, taking it right over the head of Correa. 2 for 3, batting average back up over 300, and now good speed aboard.
So here's Adam Eaton. He doubled. Tim did big double back in the 3rd inning after Shuck had let it off with a walk. Adam 0 for 2 with an RBI, picked up his 27th. But I was talking about last inning, A.J. Reed, great article in the Houston Chronicle this morning by a writer named Aaron Reese. And there is A.J. talking about his work ethic in college by his coaches and teammates and how unflappable he is. But the one thing that young, strong hitters who have had tremendous success like he did last year with 34 homers, 127 RBIs, you've got to learn how to take an 0 for 4. And it's a lot easier said than done.
I was going to say you're going to see a few of those, especially when you get to the major leagues.
That's right. I've seen guys just kill themselves. In fact, when we first got Konerko, he did not know how to take an 0 for 4. And I told Eris, my beautiful Greek wife, I said, honey, this guy's going to kill himself. Finally, he learned how to take it and became just an outstanding hitter.
Reed just 23 years old, 2nd round draft pick in June 2014. Left-handed sluggers. They are hard to find. When you find them, if you can develop them, get them to major leagues, they are few and far between these days.
Well, I've seen guys take themselves right out of the big leagues because they couldn't take it 0 for 8, 0 for 12, couldn't do it. They just go crazy. I'm not going to mention the name, but we had a guy in our ball club a few years ago. When he went 0 for 4, I mean, you didn't want to be around him in the clubhouse after the game.
Reed was 0 for his first 16 major league at bats before we saw a base hit hitting the bag and scooting into right field here.
And got his first home run yesterday. There goes Tim. Castro would have had a tough time throwing him out. Ted Williams always said that. He said, until you can learn how to take an 0 for 4, you can never fulfill your potential. He said, because a lot of days you're going to go in the major leagues, a lot of days you're going to go with that plate, and that guy 60 feet 6 inches out there away from you is going to be better than you are that day. And let's face it, for most guys starting off, when you go to that plate, you're a 7.5 to 1 underdog anyway.
Yeah, I mean, well,
you 250.
You're talking about 250, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you just a 7 to 1, that means you got a good chance to go to Cooperstown. As there's a base hit. Attaboy, Adam. So Tenney on his way to 3rd. He'll get there.
And that was well done because Correa was covering. Adam sliced it right behind him. And Anderson to 3rd. This is a cutter that was up in the zone. With Anderson going, you see Correa in your screen. He's going to second base to cover. The ball sliced behind him. He cannot put on the brakes in time, and runners at the corners looking for more.
Well, the two-hole hitter has got the biggest responsibility of any slot in the lineup if he understands it. And when you get a guy who can run like Tim Anderson can run, it just gives you over the course of a season much more area to get base hits in.
Splitters the bat.
Right off the end. Well, the $100 bill just bit the dust. Look. Yeah, I was talking with Rob Warren, our clubhouse manager, as you take another look at right off the end. And I was asking him, how many bats on average do these guys take for a week road trip? And he said, oh, anywhere from 12 to 15.
Mabel bats.
Joe McNamara on the left, and of course Dr. Payne on the right. Herm Snyder. He's on top, 0-2.
Trying to keep the ball off the ground, at the very least. A sacrifice fly. But in 27 games since June 3rd, Jose starting to heat it up. 5 home runs, 333, 21 driven in.
Two down.
On that historic streak that the White Sox are on, which is 15 straight solo home runs, surprisingly, Jose does not have a part of that. He had the last non-solo home run in Boston. Be nice to see that streak put to bed here. The bat of Todd Frazier, who's had a tough day so far.
Pop up and a strikeout on a pitch, just about like Abreu just struck out. Pulling off, and the count 0-1.
What can you do to stop yourself from pulling off the ball, which is something Todd's been doing?
Well, first of all, you have to have an approach. You have to, off this guy here, it's got to be his breaking ball. And you got to put yourself in position. Okay, I'm going to look for the fastball and hit his curve. And if you do that, you're going to guess location. So if you're going to guess location, you got to back off the plate. And then if that thing starts off low and away like that, you have a much better chance of laying off of it because it's way out there anyway when it starts. Now, if you're his back foot, see how close his back. It's the back foot that determines how close you are to the plate, not the front foot. And he's pretty close with that back foot to the plate. When you do that, you're going to go left. You're going to pull off of it. If he were to back off with that right foot, maybe 6 inches or so, 7 inches, well, he'd have a much better opportunity to see that ball longer and a much better opportunity to lay off that curveball that's in the dirt low and away like he's been chasing. When you're slightly open like that with that back foot close, you're going to pull off the ball. Now, he's hit 23 home runs. But to me, here's a guy that, I mean, Todd has the ability to hit 40 or 50 home runs if he has a good approach.
Got a shot at Desir. He's halfway through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's got a chance to hit 40 or 50 home runs. And he's got a chance to be just an outstanding hitter, period. Average-wise and, not that you care about the average, but average-wise and home run-wise. He had 35 home runs last year in a bandbox. And that's impressive, but you know, and then after watching him this year, he's got a lot more talent than I thought he had.
We tailed off the second half of last year. The first half he was blazing hot.
He still has to learn how to make some adjustments at the plate. This is an adjustment game. He's got power, big power for a right-handed hitter to the opposite field. Anytime you can hit the ball 400, 410 feet like he can to right center, boy, I'll tell you what, that's a little unusual.
Last year 25 before the break, 10 after. And you would think McHugh would go back to the curveball, although looks like a fastball away. Castro wants.
Payoff pitch. Yeah, he is a very talented baseball player, offensively and defensively. right, we have a golden opportunity to go by the boards. We're halfway home, leading by 1. Marisnick, Castro, Springer. Bottom of the 5th inning in the finale of this 3-game set. It is the rubber match. They took the opener 5-0. We got shut out for the 4th time this year. Then we won yesterday. Chris Sale picking up his 14th victory, 14-2. So Marisnick for the 2nd time is going to pop up to Adam Eaton.
7 in a row retired by Jose. That started after the double and the walk to lead off the 3rd inning.
Here's Castro. He got a cookie last time up and hammered a leadoff double leading off the 3rd inning.
Just in case he was leaning out over the plate, Jose throws one right at his knees.
Well, you like to see your pitchers make them move their feet and move their eyesight.
At that time he had very little choice.
Yeah.
He lost the lead kneecap. And that one got a good piece of Navarro.
I tell you, he's a tough little guy. He and Alex Avila both.
You can't play that position without being a tough guy.
Well, very seldom you ever see a soft catcher.
No, he's going to take a tremendous beating, and you just realize it's going to happen. Some guys get beaten up more than others behind the plate, but the ball will find you. It'll find you consistently.
There was a good pitch that Quintana did not get. And here's the 2-1. Gap out there in right center. Chuck.
Check in during your visit to U.S. Cellular Field using MLB.com Ballpark. The official U.S. Cellular Field app for your iPhone and Android smartphone perfectly complements your trip with Ballpark maps, concession guides, check-in prices, and more. Download MLB.com Ballpark today or visit WhiteSox.com/ballpark app.
Here's Springer, a homer, leading off the bottom of the first, and a walk. Two runs, 5 hits, no errors for our guys. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for their guys. We stranded 5. They have stranded 3.
Tried to drop that breaking ball low and in. Wanted to entice Springer to expand his zone. And he did. He appealed to Mike Everett, the crew chief, and he said nope. He checked it up.
Gonzalez on deck. Rounds it off. Now right over the top to flip. And a nice 1-2-3 inning. Clark in town. White Sox checking and an official White Sox MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. So go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Member FDIC. Alex Avila, Brad Laurie, and Deanna Navarro here in the top of the 6th inning. Alex has walked and grounded to short. Grounded to Correa as they have a shift on for him.
He's a shortstop, but he was playing a straightaway second base.
Right.
And they still have a shift, but somewhat surprisingly, Altuve is not playing out on the grass. He's playing just at the cut of the grass at second base. Maybe he thinks Alex got faster.
You know, you hear me say a lot of things about Ted Williams. Well, he was by far the most interesting guy I've ever talked to about hitting. We must have talked about 150, 200 hours. And he was etched in stone, which most great players in any sport are. They're etched in stone. They got their own method. They got their own philosophy. We had a discussion one morning in Winter Haven in spring training about, he was talking to me about how I've got to move around a little bit more in that box. And I said, why? He said, because you got to see the ball longer. He said, when you're having trouble, you're not seeing the ball long enough, you got to back off the plate a little bit so you'll have a chance to see it longer. And over the years watching this game, after playing the game, the first thing I do, and I'll look at hitters what that I don't know or haven't seen, especially young guys, how far do they see the ball? You got 60 feet 6 inches from the slab to the plate. There's another walk.
Well, his
6 walks.
His walk barrage was interrupted by that ground ball to shortstop. That's the only contact he's made, but he keeps getting on base, which is what he's supposed to do.
And here's Laurie, strikeout and a pop-up. But you take like Todd. Let's go back to Frazier right now. Right now he's seeing the ball probably 53, 54 feet.
Which is not really long enough.
No. I'll guarantee you when he's going good, he's probably seeing it 55, 56 feet. Not too many guys see it 59 or 60 feet. Those guys are few and far between. So if that's the case, he's got to figure out, if you do the math on it, you got to figure out a way. Let's just say that he's seeing the ball 54 feet right now. You got to figure out a way that you can see it, add 2 feet to it, so you can see it 55, 56 feet. And the only way you can do this is by backing off the plate. So your thought will dictate your mechanics on, you got to go into the ball. I thought he went. No, he didn't. That you're going towards the first base line rather than going towards the shortstop.
They stay closed longer by doing that.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't have to think about it. Your thoughts are going to dictate the mechanics. I was basically a 54, 55 foot hitter. And then the last 2 years I played before I broke my leg and ankle, I added a foot because of Ted getting a hole. Nice pick. Can't turn it.
Pretty big effort. Not only on Gonzalez, but Altuve getting away the throw, but Brett hustles down the line, able to beat the play. So this is wide of the bag and going away from the throw. Gonzalez still gets it there, and Altuve stays right there to get the relay off.
And that'll bring up DeHonor. But by adding that foot, maybe a foot and a half, I didn't change my swing. I didn't get any stronger. And the last 2 years I played before I retired, you know, I hit 65 home runs and drove in over 200 runs just by adding a foot, foot and a half. If you recall, Thurman Munson, you recall, was not the best example, but he was a good example. And then you recall Pete Rose, who's got more hits than anybody in the history of the game. Pete would look at that pitch all the way back to the catcher's mitt. He would see that ball 60 feet. He made sure that he would follow it all the way, so he's seeing it all that way. Thurman Munson, you played with him.
Yep.
He would watch that ball all the way into it. That's why he was such a good clutch hitter.
Well, 1 year Munson had 625, 635 at bats, struck out less than 40 times. I mean, that's these days that's unheard of, but
sure
that's remarkable.
Yeah. Well, he saw the ball a long way.
Yeah. A huge run producer.
And just one of the great clutch hitters of his
yep.
era. As DeHonor lines that one off the wall. But it's just simple math in that respect of figuring out. Right now, as I said, Todd's seeing it 53, 54 feet.
1976, Thurman Munson was the MVP. 616 at bats, 38 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Try duplicating that one.
Well, even though he played for the Yankees today, most people don't understand what a great player he was.
Yes, it's true.
Line drive.
Well, unfortunately, that's a base hit in most every alignment except for the exaggerated shift, taking a base hit away from Deanna. And this is why they have those shifts. And you're going to see them more and more and more as we move along. AJ was talking about a couple of different things that were really interesting. One was the amount of statistics you get. And he talked about not only the computerized statistics you get, but he was talking about the visual input you can get from the manager and the coaches about how some things are going to happen with various players depending on how they've been swinging the bat. So he said statistics are great and our organization uses a whole lot of them, but also there's a certain amount that has to go into it visually from the coaches, the manager, the hitting coach, pitching coach, whatever the case may be. And he said that has to factor into it. You have to be able to use that in your equations about how to play people depending on how they're swinging the bat at any given time, because they swing it different every time, every series you see a player. Sometimes game to game they swing the bat differently than they were doing it before.
Well, that's common sense.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah, it sounds a relatively easy thing to do, but
it's common sense. Almost every good pitcher that I played with and knew, the only one thing they wanted to know before they went in, because they didn't have all the numbers back in those days, they didn't have iPads and iPhones.
No.
You know, was who's hot and who's not. That was it.
Who swings at the first pitch, who doesn't.
Exactly. Who's hot and who's not. Another walk.
So that's 4 of them. And here comes A.J. Hinch with J.B. Shuck coming to bat. And that's going to be it. So as McHugh walks off, we'll step out and be back after these messages. And we're seeing him for the second time in the series is Chris Devenski. For the 21st time, he's 0-2, but 1 for 1 in save opportunities, a fine ERA of 2.18. And when we saw him in the opener, he went an inning, gave up a hit with a walk, but no runs.
So here's JB. Getting back to what you were talking with Hinch about, he's right. That's common sense. Hey, I love numbers.
Yes.
There is a place for baseball with sabermetrics. With analytics, as they call it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the biggest reason I like it is because it broadens our fan base. Because there are a lot of youngsters out there who are really good with numbers. They play the game, the fantasy baseball, so to speak, using those analytics.
There's a lot of that around.
Exactly.
A lot of
and
those.
there's a big place for it, and I love it. But not to the degree that they have brought it in, and in the fashion they brought it in this quickly and elevated it this quickly, that they caused a lot of good, solid baseball people they got fired because of analytics.
Yeah, what AJ said was, look, you have to factor in visual analytics, and for that you have to have experience, and you have to have good, solid coaches who not only see the game but observe the game, which is a big difference.
Well, hard comebacker. Davinsky handles it, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth, still leading 2-1.
At U.S. Cellular Field, feature tickets as low as $5 in the upper level and $15 in the lower level. And you get special kid-focused activities throughout the ballpark. Parking is available for only $10. Visit whitesox.com/Sundays to purchase your tickets today. So McHugh goes 5 2/3, a couple of runs on 5 hits with 4 walks and 9 strikeouts. Sox fans enjoying this one so far. I'd like to see a few more runs, and so far, Jose, after the worst start you could have in a ball game, a leadoff home run, has only given up 1 other hit. So 2 hits through 5 with just that lone run.
And here's Marwin Gonzalez, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Breaking ball strike. You know, when they first came in with the quote sabermetrics, it got to the point that I had a friend of mine who was a manager and a good manager. He wanted to bunt. He had a man on first and second, nobody out in a close ball game, wanted to bunt. He actually had to call up to the general manager to ask him if he could bunt during the game.
That actually is taking it a bit too far.
Sure it is. Because this guy did not want to bunt. Because that's high. We got a man there out on the edge of the track. Then they figured out that no stolen bases. So that a lot of guys managing in baseball all their lives. Good manager. They were taking elements of the game away from managing because of the numbers.
Be nice if you could completely disregard the stolen base, especially against a team like Houston.
Yeah.
Especially about the guy you're looking at.
Tim. So Altuve is retired. He's 0 for 3.
Since that walk in the third inning, which came right after the double, Jose has retired 11 in a row. Everybody he's seen since that walk to Springer in the third.
You know, over the past 4 or 5 years, I've had a lot of players, not just our players, visiting players, everything else come to me. They said there's just too much information they're giving us. They're inundated with too many numbers, too much information. Rather than going out and playing. Play the game. It's still a game. It's still a child's game.
But you really like, without the use of statistics, what A.J. Hinch did with Carlos Correa. When he hit him in the 4th spot and he said,
that's managing.
Drive in runs. I want you to drive in runs. Don't care what you hit. Don't care anything else about what you do.
That ball into right field. So that is 12 in a row retired by Quintana.
Off the bat of Tim Anderson in the 3rd inning. He drives this ball almost out of the ballpark. Springer goes all the way back to the wall, collides with the wall, and the ball gets away. He goes into second base with a 2-base hit, his first of 2 hits. And here he is.
Well, he's played 22 games and he has 11 multi-hit games.
Pretty remarkable.
It is.
Pretty remarkable start.
As I mentioned, Sox back in the late 40s had Gus Zernial, who did it as a rookie. In 20 games, he had 10 multi-hit games. Boy, he was a strong man, Gus Zernial. Whew. Outfield straight up, spaced about equidistant as he fakes the bunt, takes a strike.
Tim describes himself as a line drive hitter. Does not view himself as a home run hitter. But he's so strong and going to get stronger that those line drives will leave the ballpark.
Well, the big hurt Frank Thomas described himself as a line drive hitter.
Who had a lot of home runs.
521.
Yeah.
And they just didn't come down. To have the live bat that Anderson has, you got to have very strong hands and wrists. Once again, very happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July weekend, and make it a loving and a safe one. Record number, according to AAA, a record number of motorists are going to be over 30 million on the road today and tomorrow. So be safe. Three and two the count.
Love to see him aboard to lead off the inning. Had a chance to steal a base back in the fifth, but ball was fouled off, and then they used the hit and run. Bensky, originally a shortstop, transferred to Cal State Fullerton, drafted by our Sox in the 25th round of 2011.
Got a good pitch on him right there, in on the fist.
Baseball's two biggest summer events back to back. The Home Run Derby on July 11th at 7 p.m. Central, and don't miss the 87th All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 12th. Coverage begins at 6:30 Central.
Here's Eaton, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Gonzalez in on the grass at third. Gap out there in right center. Bottom of the eighth at Citi Field. Mets leading the Cubs 13-1. Tigers leading Tampa Bay 5-1. Top of the ninth down in St. Pete.
And Toronto deciding that they didn't like that 19-inning loss to start that series. After winning the ball game yesterday, they're winning 15-1 today. Pretty amazing. Rajai Davis hit for the cycle yesterday, and he did it in consecutive at bats, home run, triple, double, and single in his last at bat. What was most amazing about it was in the history of the Indians, and I'm sure that goes back to the Cleveland Spiders many years ago. He's just the 8th player in Indians history to hit for the cycle. Just 8.
Travis Hafner.
Yeah, I mean, he was the last one to do it, but yeah. I mean, it seems like it would be a little easier to do, but apparently not for tribesmen. Did you ever come close?
Yeah. In fact, I missed it by a single one time, and I think it was a triple another time. There's the line drive. Well, I did it in the minor leagues, but never big leagues.
Still a tremendous accomplishment. And when you see how rare it is for many organizations, and it's rare for all of them, but especially rare for the Cleveland Indians. Rajai Davis, it's nice to see that he hits some other people, not just our ball club.
He wears us out, doesn't he? Wow.
I know.
Here's Abreu. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI. Well, there's more than two, but the two preeminent, so to speak, nightmares that managers have in today's culture of the game are doubleheaders and extra inning games, long extra inning games.
Well, that completely disrupted the Indians, especially as Jose gets hit. And Jose thought that one had a little intention, only because he got out so quickly to pull the last ball so hard. And this one got him in the bicep, the lead bicep.
Well,
hit for the 8th time. Only Adam Eaton has been hit more, and Adam does that to get on base, which is a good thing.
Fair ball strike. I said it before, I'll say it again. Guys are taking too many liberties with Jose Abreu and Todd Frazier on the ball club.
Well, you'd love to see Todd get one middle in and make him pay for the hit batsman.
It went right back to the middle. Todd, knock him off the mound. Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That time he was able to stay alive on a good curveball low and away.
The ball deep into right field. Stretch! Not quite enough. It's the 7th inning stretch, and we're going to stay here for God Bless America.
It's our Sunday afternoon tradition here at Minute Maid Park. Takes on a special meaning, especially this Independence Day weekend. We invite you to rise now and take pause with us as we honor our great nation and salute those who defend our freedom around the world each and every day. Now, please join Rick Godfrey for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Home half of the 7th inning. Good guys lead it. 2-1. Gomez, Reed, and Gaddis to face Jose Quintana. Gomez 0 for 2. He's twice popped up to Abreu. Lines that ball hard, but we got a man there. It's a hang with him.
MLTV Premium, the @1 live sports streaming service, delivers every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Here's A.J. Reed. Takes first pitch strike. He's going out to left and struck out, called out on a fastball outside corner.
Jose has pretty much stayed away from him all day today. Once again, once again he jumps on top as Matt Albers starts to throw.
In that article in the paper this morning about Reed, they were talking about how every day he used to spend 4 to 5 hours in the cage.
That might be overworking it a touch.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah.
Lays off that one upstairs.
Called reaching the level of diminishing returns.
I think everybody at one time in their career has done it. That ball driven deep into right center. But Shuck is there. Caught it on the end of the bat. He didn't, that home run he hit last night, he just muscled it out in about that same direction. High towering drive. And there he got that one off the end of the bat and still almost hit it out.
Well, fortunately, this ball is on the outside corner and he misses the sweet spot. Gives you an idea just how strong he is as JB goes all the way back. 3 or 4 steps to spare. Stays in the yard. Well, he's going to hit a few of them.
Here's another strong man. Evan Gaddis. Last year he had 27 homers and drove in 88.
And now a warning as Jose with 2 outs, nobody on. This one was behind him, but it was thigh high, not letter high.
Gaddis after the first pitch had a feeling.
Yep. And it's a warning, and then it looks like AJ was given the boot in this one.
Well, it certainly appears that Gaddis knows the game. One thing about it, he didn't aim it. He turned it loose.
Yeah. And that's going to be it for AJ Hinch. Last time we'll take a look at him this season.
Here's the 2-0. Three and 0, and don't throw him a cookie. Marisnick on deck. There's one.
Boom, a changeup, which he couldn't have been looking for 3-0, even if he had the green light.
No, that's the last thing he's looking for.
Luke Gregerson throwing in the pen.
And a full count. That man is strong.
Okay, that one was cut inside off the plate, and he still hit it awfully hard. Young man with a souvenir on a line drive in the seats.
For a guy, you don't see a guy that strong with, as a rule, that short and quick a swing.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they got Gattis here to this park, because he is a pull hitter. And the Crawford boxes are so inviting. At 3:15 down the line with a high scoreboard, but nothing for Gattis to hit it out of here.
Anywhere. No, he's that strong. It was a great pickup for him. And the payoff pitch. Here you go. That is 15 in a row retired by Quintana.
Another time brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller Moments. The pitch behind Evan Gattis. Probably you remind him about that pitch to Abreu, and then the warning by Ryan Blakeney. And a good breaking ball on 3-2. Gattis down on strikes. And a two-hitter for Jose, as he's been magnificent once again here this afternoon.
Alex Avila, Brad Laurie, Deanna Navarro. They put the shift on. Alex 0 for 1 with 2 walks. He has walked 6 times in this series, in case you're just joining us. Two 5-0 for us, 1 2-0 for them. We have stranded 8 Is stranded for 3. All right, that'll start us off here.
Well, Marisnick got to the ball very quickly, played the carom, and held Alex at first base. Looked like 2, but Dick Marisnick is very fast, and it's a very short porch in left field.
Yeah, Marisnick 24 stolen bases last year.
Yeah, he can go get them, and he's a outstanding center fielder. And now Alex taken down. His day is done. Tyler Saladino coming on to pinch run.
Brett 0 for 3. He's due. 2 hits in game 1, 2 hits in game 2. There he goes. Throw is high. He's safe.
Good pitch to run because he picked a slow breaking ball. And stole that base easily. So Saladino. Head first dive. His 4th stolen base in 6 attempts.
Now Brett has got a job to do. Curveball strike. Joe McEwing keeping his eye on Correa. Altuve holding his ground out there at deep second. A lot of times you can steal on the second base and shortstop combo. Attaboy. Attaboy. Here he comes. And here's the throw by Gonzalez. He's safe. Brett Lawrie. Big RBI. It's 3-1.
It's his 32nd run batted in. The stolen base, the base hit right back up the middle. And the run against Davinsky and the Astros. That's a rolling breaking ball, stayed up in the zone, took it right back up the middle. Joe McEwing just sends him. Throw a little off the mark. And the trailer, Lawrie on the plate, moves into scoring position.
And now Deonner's got a job to do. He's 0 for 3. Curveball strike. Quickly 2 strikes. Javi Garcia on deck.
Got a straight change. He was trying to guide it to the right side. Couldn't do much of anything else with that one anyway.
No, well, this is another one of those situations where bats that you got to sort of guess location. Anything up, you don't want to swing it. Anything waist down, you get a chance to get out and pull it and get him over. That's trouble. Yes, it is in the gap. So here comes Brett. And it's a 4-1 lead.
After Navarro's big game yesterday, his first base hit today drives in his 21st run. If you missed it yesterday, he drove in 4 with a triple and a single. And a big 8th inning. That's a changeup. He stayed right with it. Hit it in the gap. And that's going to be it for Devenski. He's going to leave after the base hit by Navarro. So as Gregerson comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Skull to the pen is Luke Gregerson, who is their setup man, out for the 36th time. 3-1 with a 3.67 ERA. He was the closer, 13 for 18 in that department. He is the closer no longer.
Don't stop now, boys. Two in. Man at first, nobody out, and here's Avi. Avi 0 for 2 with the base on balls. Shuck on deck with an 0-2 count to Garcia. One out. Shuck 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He started off that third inning, a 2-run third with a base on balls. First and 30. He got it on the transfer, so Yonder is out.
And a real good play by Altuve. Although Robin's going to ask him to take a look at it, I believe. Correa coming across the bag. Looked like trying to get it into his throwing hand. Good flip. Yeah, he had it. That was absolutely out at second base. Robbing JB of a base hit.
So here's Anderson. He's 2 for 4. Big double back in the third. And a single in the fifth. Flips a little breaking ball up there and grabs a strike. Oh, 1-2. Four 8-0 for our guys. 1-2-0 for their guys. There he goes. But a couple of big runs across the plate. We go to the bottom of the eighth, leading 4-1.
And Quintana was brilliant, retiring the last 15 in a row he saw. 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. Nate Jones on for the 39th time. He's 4-2, ERA 2.68. Luis Valbuena is going to pinch hit for Marisnick. He's going to lead it off here in the 8th.
Marisnick was 0 for 2 with 2 pop-ups to right field. And if you're just tuning in, George Springer leading off the bottom of the first inning, homered into the bullpen in right center field. And then Castro with a double in the third, and that was all that Quintana gave up. Well, Buena, there are his numbers. Always tough against us.
Particularly tough in this ballpark because of his power to left field. Left-hand hitters can hit it to left here. Easy to reach those boxes.
He had 25 home runs last year. He gone. One out. So here is Jason Castro. Double. And a fly out to center field. Tags it up, takes strike one. And a reminder, make your plans to be with us at US Cellular Field tomorrow afternoon. First of three against Joe Girardi's New York Yankees. It'll be James Shields against CC Sabathia. Can't make it to the ballpark. That game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. On Tuesday it'll be Carlos Rodon against Masahiro Tanaka. And the game also on Comcast Sportsnet. On Wednesday, finale, the night game. Guy who's really been pitching well, Miguel Gonzalez against Michael Pineda. And that game will be over WPWR. My 50th. He gone. 2 down.
Yankees just started their ball game with San Diego out in San Diego, so it'll take them a while to get to Chicago for that day game tomorrow.
The ball hit hard. Meanwhile, Timmy stays with it. Throws him out. Quick inning, 2 punch outs and a ground out, and we're into the ninth. Celebrate America's birthday with White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago as the good guys return to beautiful US Cellular Field to open up the series with the Yankees. Coverage begins at 12:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by the Koalas family of dealerships on CSN Chicago.
So we've got Will Harris coming in the ball game, on for the 35th time. 7 for 7 in save opportunities since being given the closer job. .78 ERA. 34 and 6 strikeouts to walks, and Colby Rasmus comes into left field. Marisnick taken down for a pinch hitter.
Here's Adam. Adam, 1 for 4. Chopper to Hopper.
When the season started, a lot of folks thought Ken Giles would be the closer. And then Gregerson took over before giving way to Harris, who's done a very good job since taking over that role.
Here's Abreu, 2 for 3, a double, RBI single. Curveball strike.
David Robertson loosening in the pen. Picked up his 22nd save yesterday to cement 14th win for Chris Sale. He probably does come on, and you believe that he will. It'll be the heart of the order for Houston.
Outfield for the most part straight up. It's tied on deck. Gets in on him. Phillies beat Kansas City 7-2 at Citizens Bank.
That's Vincent Velasquez pitching for Philadelphia. He's a really good young pitcher who came out of this organization.
Just watch the hitters when he pitches.
He's really something. I mean, that was a terrific deal for them.
When I watch a baseball game, I don't watch the ball. I watch the reactions of the hitters, and they will tell me what kind of stuff that guy's got. And you watch the hitters when Velasquez is out there. He's got outstanding stuff.
Well, 7-2. His ERA is 3.34 in a miniature ballpark in Philadelphia, one of the great hitters parks around. So he is really something. He beat Giordano Ventura.
2 down. Yeah, if you see that front side of a hitter will tell you a lot about the kind of stuff a guy's got.
But Washington breathes a sigh of relief after spending a couple of starts on the shelf. Steven Strasburg came back, won the ball game against Cincinnati to run his record to 11-0, 2.71 ERA. Had a couple of ribs displaced in a weightlifting occurrence. Went on the DL and came back, throwing every bit as well as he's ever thrown it.
Well, when you talk about those conditioning coaches, they're guys that are not talked about enough. We got one of the best in Alan Thomas, AT. If you get one that doesn't know exactly what he's doing, you're going to have some injuries in that weight room.
Well, Alan's terrific. He's a student of physiology, understanding exactly what guys should do, shouldn't do.
Diets, nutrition as well.
I mean, he works really hard with these guys. Does a great job of it.
And he's got a son, Alec, that maybe is the best young baseball player I've ever seen at 15 years old.
He's got a chance of being, when he becomes eligible, he's got a chance of being the #1 player picked in the country.
No question about it.
A legitimate chance.
No question. I just hope he stays away because he's a great football player as well. I hope he stays away and just plays baseball.
Well, Alan showed me some of the shots, some of the video of his son hitting. Boy, what a nice stroke he has. And is he strong?
Oh,
wow.
There's a boy. I'll tell you what, with the exception of maybe Austin Jackson, Alex about as good an outfielder as in this organization.
Yeah, he's going to be something, and he's still got a couple of years to develop.
Well, AT sends me some video of him. And in football, I mean, they can't catch him because he can fly. But the biggest thing is that handling the guys like our medical staff, headed up by Herm and Brian Ball. And I'll tell you, and then you got AT. Tough to beat. Watch out. Missed him evidently.
Take another look. And he got in under the tag. He was hung out to dry. And he got in with the right hand while Reed was looking at the left hand.
Well, Mike Everett was in perfect position to see it.
Great scramble back to the bag.
Big rip. All right, Tom. Making his first plate appearance, Alex Avila was 1 for 2, 2 walks, a single that started off that 2-run eighth. Tyler pinch ran for him, stole second, and then scored. RBIs by Brett Laurie, and J.J. Shearer's picked to click. Gianna Navarro. Two out and 1-1. Detroit beat Tampa Bay 5-1 down in St. Pete. Final now from Citi Field. Mets beat the Cubs 14-3. 17-1. Toronto beat Cleveland.
Detroit won their 6th game in a row, so they're starting to heat it up. It's actually a pretty good time to run because Harris's best pitch is that curveball, and you figure a 1-2 count he would be throwing it. You have nothing to lose by trying to steal a bag.
There he goes. Backs up the long peg. In time. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th with a 3-run lead.
his second save in as many days. Picked up his 22nd yesterday. There's a look at the numbers on for the 34th time. 22 for 24. ERA 3.38 with 40 big strikeouts at 34 2/3. Right through the middle of the order.
Gonzalez, Altuve, Correa. White Sox. So here is Gonzalez 0 for 3.
Turns around to hit from the left side for the first time. He's a very happy man to see Carlos Quintana out of the lineup. Jose Quintana, excuse me.
That ball was ripped down there. And Eaton's going to hold it to a single.
Nice job by Adam Eaton, because that one hit awfully hard. Looked like two bases when it left the bat. Adam right there for the carom off the sidewall, and Gonzalez held it first to keep the double play in order. Altuve's grounded into 11 double plays, and but for being in the right place and getting it back in quickly, he'll have an opportunity to ground into another.
Altuve 0 for 3. Altuve has had trouble with Quintana. He is now 3 for 23, all 3 singles off Jose.
That one hit awfully hard off Deanna Navarro, who turned around, absorbed the pain, and now he's back and ready to go. That one hurt him.
Short lead. They get the lead man, and that's it. 1 down. So good speed at first. Altuve 21 for 24 in stolen bases, but they're down 3 runs with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And here comes Correa. Carlos is grounded to second, going out to center, and flied to right. First pitch strike.
That was another one hit off Deanna Navarro. He's taken a pretty good beating back there today.
More you see that guy, we've always been impressed with him because he always played well against us. But more you see him every day on an everyday basis, the more you respect him. He and Alex Avila both. Count hangs at 0-2 to the 21-year-old future superstar. As Gomez awaits on deck.
That was a real good stop by Navarro. That ball was well in front of the plate. Able to take it off the chest protector, keep it in front of it.
Hard high, slow low. He gone. 2 down.
Good curveball.
The old hard high, slow low trick.
He got him. 1 out away. It's been a well played ball game.
I tell you one thing else I liked about it. It's been a well umpired series.
Yeah, it has been that.
There he goes. Indifference. It's not a stolen base.
Navarro with a short word. All he's doing is telling him what set of signs they're going to use, with now Altuve out at second base.
This Houston club is fun to watch. You got those three right at the top. You got Springer, Altuve, Correa.
Yeah, power and speed and some very talented young players.
Just a little low. And the count 3-0. Come back and get him. Make him hit his way on. A.J. Reed on deck. And A.J., who homered off David last night. There's one. Tying run comes to the plate.
Todd Frazier coming on to give him a word of advice. Don Cooper looking out at Navarro as if to pantomime to him curveballs.
Ball high.
That was a good one.
1-1 the count. Gunners advance. And the count 1-2. $30,379 on their feet. this ball game, and this series is over.
Save number 23 for David Robertson. It was a cornucopia of curveballs. A.J. Reed swinging through all of them. Sox win their 4th series in a row. Here's another hook, and this is a game ender. And Jose Quintana, who was brilliant, wins his first game since May 8th.
Well, Quintana, if you're just tuning